Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the World Class Championship Wrestling Review Series, March the 12th, 1988. And we open with an interesting way to promote things. The chaos ensues at the Michael Hayes concert that's been promoted over the last few weeks. Buddy Roberts makes his way onto the stage. A brawl with the new Freebirds, including Blackbird, a.k.a. Iceman King Parsons, and various others. The Von Erichs included are there. Buddy Roberts gets taken shots at, and Terry Gordy is involved. Basically, the Freebirds break down, and it's not a good scene. The Real Thing versus Wild Bill Irwin is our first match of the day/week. The Thing, obviously a big deal. Irwin has really fallen off pretty hard here. To remember that he's a former multi-time Texas champion, to remember that he held that belt a good bit in 1982, and now he's in this match with the Thing. It's kind of, it's underwhelming. I mean, I realize guys have back in this time, maybe a 10-year, 20-year shelf life, but it's just sad to see guys fall so far. In any event, we kind of see the brawling style of the Thing take over. He uses more power, sends Irwin to the outside. You would have expected Irwin, who was so dominant during the early stages of World Class, to look a little better here. He does not. He does get a roll-up, though, 1-2, and only a 2 count. And Vince Apollo on the outside of the ring giving advice to the Thing. I still don't understand the concept of the Real Thing here, unless it's a takeoff on the movie, but I don't know if the movie would even be out yet. Anyway, really basic match, simple concept, and not something that you have to go out of your way to see. This is a match that is intended basically to get the Thing over to another level. Big boot by Irwin that's put away so many. Usually would manage to put away others, but in this case the Angel of Death makes his way in and gets a victory via disqualification for Bill Irwin, but it's rather underwhelming considering where Irwin came from. Tatum and Jack Victory versus Jeff Rands and Jason Sterling. Of course, Tatum and Victory, former multi-time tag team champions, light pink robes and the like. Sterling, relatively new. Rands, never really getting over. Basically an enhancement talent just to fill out a body here. Victory starts the match, is pretty dominant early. Tag off between Victory and Tatum. Really basic wrestling and a lot of stalling. I mean, Rands is a pretty big deal from that perspective. Challenging everybody to get in on the action. This does not happen. Tatum with some cheap shot takedowns on Sterling, and he controls the tempo of the next little bit of the match. Tag off to Jason Rands and drop kick there on Victory. Couple of them. Victory is on his tail for the next couple of minutes. Then we see the Simpsons run out and try to confront Victory and Tatum, but the heels run away. Mark Lawrence interviews Terry Taylor. Terry Taylor insults everybody. Basically says he doesn't understand why people don't see him as the greatest thing to happen to Texas. Calls himself one of the greatest Texas champions ever. Insults the Texas fans, etc. and so forth. He's still wearing that black and red robe. He would have talked for ages had he been allowed to. Terry Taylor as a heel is so phenomenal. I actually look forward to eventually doing the Mid-South/UWF stuff because that's where Taylor seemed to thrive the most, and I really look forward to that. One of my mentors is a huge Terry Taylor fan, and I am not as exposed to Terry as I would like to be. They do a basically proper technique video where he executes a pile driver and they hype the pile driver. And then we see a one-on-one match, Bobby Fulton and Terry Taylor. Taylor 1000% the heel. Of course, Taylor is the Texas champion at this point, defeating Matt Bourne using cheating. Taylor on the receiving end of several arm drags. Fulton through the ropes, or through the legs, and hits a knee lift. Taylor oversells just about everything. And then we see a arm drag and work over the arm by Fulton. Taylor gets the cutoff, manages to head to the floor. Taylor cannot keep control of his adversary. Fulton gets a roll through, but Taylor walks away before getting hit with a drop kick. Taylor uses some stalling, sits down and uses the ropes to gain a victory on a cheated sunset flip. And then we move to the main event, Roberts, Angel of Death, and Iceman versus Simpson and the two Steve Simpson and the two Von Erichs in a six-man main event. As is true with the majority of six-mans, this is nothing but chaos. Obviously, for lack of a better term, calling them the new Freebirds is the best way to describe it. Take control. Kerry Von Erich in there with Buddy Roberts, kind of renewing that feud. Kevin wearing the red tights and kind of staying out of the ring unless absolutely necessary. Does get in there with Angel of Death, gets his leg caught. Simpson comes in and makes a double team on the Angel of Death. Perhaps they're going into a feud with those two. Don't really know what's going on there. Roll through Angel of Death. Tries to steal a victory with a roll onto the shoulders. Does not work out in his favor. Crank on the arm by Kevin Von Erich. Kerry tries to step through. Kerry, for all of his flaws in this era, does come back to the point where if you don't know that he lost the leg, you wouldn't know. Iceman King Parsons on the receiving end of the discus punch. Kerry makes his way over to his corner, or tries to, before Buddy Roberts catches him off guard. I believe at a point Parsons wanted to go over the top rope, but couldn't. Wild punches by Kevin. Kevin cleaning house on just about everybody in the ring, and hits a double dropkick on Parsons and Roberts. You can definitely tell World Class is in its dying days here. Nice body scissors by Kevin. Kevin has the body scissors on Roberts. They've been here before. Simpson comes back in. Clubbing shot by the Angel from behind while Simpson has control of Buddy Roberts. Angel makes a switch and then manages to hit a snap suplex. Angel, not a guy that wants to give up very quickly. He doesn't really ever accomplish much in this area. Simpson and Roberts square off again with a couple minutes left in the program. I think they're trying to get a program out of those two. I'm not 100% sure on that, though. Sunset flip attempted by Simpson on Roberts near his own corner. And then Roberts begging off, backing off, and going a bit nuts. Angel and Simpson hooked up. The heels have control. Iceman Parsons back in, otherwise known as Blackbird. Decking by mistake, mind you. Buddy Roberts and Simpson takes control. The referee has lost, speaking of control, all control over who the legal men are in the ring. Tag off to Kerry Von Erich. Kerry Von Erich gets his hands on Iceman Parsons, though. Referee seems to acknowledge the tag, so that's as best a sign as possible. Kerry off the ropes, misses the leaping back elbow. Kerry does a heck of a sell job, goes around to just about every corner of the ring there is. Buddy Roberts back in. Roberts takes Kerry over to his corner, and the referee goes down. Babyfaces win by disqualification, but nothing gets settled here. In any event, we will be back with more right after this.